Swadika, hello and welcome. You're watching ASEAN Challenge, the show to give you the latest headlines, hot topics and updates happening around your ASEAN bloc in two languages, Thai and English. I'm Rosalind Tepawan.
And I'm Alisa สิทธิวงศ์ขอต้อนรับคุณผู้ชมทุกท่านเข้าสู่รายการ ASEAN Challenge ค่ะข่าวสารรอบอาเซียนของเราเป็นทั้งภาษาอังกฤษและภาษาไทย
And starting off the show, let's take a look at what's happening in ASEAN around us. Looking at Indonesia with the big homecoming, you could say, of the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, over the past week.
That's right. According to the topic here, it actually says Indonesia, a happy land for Obama. So he's on vacation, or he went to vacation in Indonesia itself in several areas. Bali, the nice beaches, including visiting ancient temples. Now, according to sources, of course, this trip was not just him alone, but he took his whole family, including Michelle Obama and his two daughters, Molly and Sasha, as well.
Right. They did important greetings as well, not only visiting the president of Indonesia, but they also made and paid their respects to important temples around Indonesia, too. One of the most important being the Borobudur Temple, the first temple they visited on this trip in Yogyakarta. So here you could see Obama making his way around Indonesia. But did you know, when he arrived, they arrived on a special private jet to be received by security guards of more than 650 officers.
Wow.
So it's quite a welcoming party right there. Take a look. So all the locals are just excited to welcome him back to a country he lived in for 4 years in his childhood days.
That's right. So he spent 4 years from the age of 6 in Jakarta with his mother,
right.
Of course. And of course, so his official trip to Jakarta or to Indonesia, his last trip was in 2010. And now he's back again 7 years later for a holiday. And they also said that it took a while. This was a trip after, of course, Joko Widodo invited him to go several times. So finally he was able to go and visit Jakarta and Bali and other cities in Indonesia as well, and also paid a visit to the President Joko Widodo as well. So this occurred on June 30th. So of course, very happy for the people of Indonesia. Lots of social media, pictures, online posts happening during that time as well.
Right. Talking about photos, we saw earlier shots of them going river rafting with the entire family. Lots of fun. They're doing a huge family kind of vacation down the river. They also visited Hindu temples, one especially called Prambanan as well, very famous one in Indonesia. They also made lots of trips all around the area of Yogyakarta and Bali as well. Who could miss Bali?
That's
Altogether,
right.
though, it's been a very colorful visit for Obama, who had lived there ever since, you mentioned, he was quite young. His mother was doing research on rural villages in Indonesia when she met and married an Indonesian after divorcing Obama's father.
That's right.
So there you go.
So he does have quite a relationship with Indonesia altogether, and he
Yes.
is very popular among the Indonesian population as well. So as mentioned, of course, while he was visiting, there were lots of photos being shared online of his trips, going to various locations, and of course, they were very happy to greet him indeed.
Yes, indeed. So good times for Obama and the family, where on their private holiday, and especially meeting VIPs as well. Lots of eventful periods indeed.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาดูกันในส่วนแรกค่ะ ASEAN Around Us อย่างที่เราเห็นกันในภาพในขณะนี้อันนี้ก็คืออดีตประธานาธิบดีของสหรัฐอเมริกาค่ะบารักโอบามาซึ่งได้เดินทางไปเยือนอินโดนีเซียนะคะก็ถือว่าเป็นการพักผ่อนหลังจากที่ก็ไม่ได้เป็นประธานาธิบดีของสหรัฐแล้วในขณะนี้นะคะก็ท่องเที่ยวอินโดนีเซียไม่ว่าจะเป็นบาหลีไปจาการ์ตาไปวัดต่างๆนะคะก็ไปพร้อมกับครอบครัวมีทั้งมิเชลโอบามาแล้วก็ลูกสาว2คนมาเลียกับซาชาด้วย
ค่ะที่สำคัญนะคะพอไปถึงประเทศอินโดนีเซียนะคะได้รับการต้อนรับแบบเต็มกำลังเลยนะคะเพราะว่ากองทหารมากกว่า600นายเนี่ยนะคะออกมาให้ความปกป้องนะคะทางอดีตประธานาธิบดีซึ่งก็เป็นการต้อนรับแบบสูงใหญ่มากๆหลังจากนั้นเขาก็ได้เดินทางไปที่วัดแห่งหนึ่งนะคะโบโรบูดัวนั่นเองเป็นวัดพุทธใช่ไหมคะของประเทศอินโดนีเซียที่ดังที่สุดเลยค่ะ
สำหรับครั้งสุดท้ายที่นายบารักโอบามาได้ไปเยือนอินโดนีเซียอย่างเป็นทางการเนี่ยก็เมื่อปี 2010 ก็ผ่านไป7 ปีนะคะก็หลังจากที่อดีตประธานาธิบดีบารักโอบามาเนี่ยก็ได้เข้าพบกับโจโกวิโดโดด้วยก็ มีแหล่งข่าวบอกว่าคือจริงๆแล้ววิโดโดเนี่ยพยายามจะชวนบารักโอบามาอินโดนีเซียนานมากแล้วในที่สุดก็ได้มาได้เพื่อมาท่องเที่ยวนั่นเองค่ะ
ค่ะก็เมื่อสมัยก่อนโอบามาได้อยู่กับครอบครัวที่อินโดนีเซียสมัยนั้นนะคะคุณแม่ของโอบามาเองก็มาศึกษาความเป็นอยู่ของชาวอินโดนีเซียโดยเฉพาะในหมู่บ้านนอกนะคะได้ศึกษาเรื่องการสร้างเป็น blacksmith นะคะสมัยนั้นก็เป็นช่วงที่น่าสนใจมากๆ
ต้องและจริงๆแล้วบารักโอบามาเนี่ยก็ถือว่าเป็นคนที่โด่งดังในชาวอินโดนีเซียด้วยพอบารักโอบามาไปที่ไหนนะคะก็จะมีชาวอินโดนีเซียถ่ายรูปอัพขึ้นโซเชียลมีเดียเต็มไปหมดเลยก็มีแหล่งภาพต่างๆที่ในการเดินทางของโอบามาและครอบครัวในครั้งนี้ค่ะ
ใช่ค่ะอย่างที่เห็นเมื่อกี้ได้มีการเที่ยวลงเป็นคายักนะคะหรือว่า river raft ลงแม่น้ำด้วยน่าสนุกค่ะ
โอ้โหก็ต้องติดตามดูนะคะว่าจะมีภาพอะไรออกมาให้เห็นกันบ้างเกี่ยวกับทริปนี้ค่ะ
And those were the updates on Obama's latest trip to Indonesia. But we'll take a break. When we come back, more highlights coming up ahead in ASEAN hot issues, so don't go away.
พักกันสักครู่ค่ะ
Welcome back to ASEAN Challenge. Into ASEAN hot issues now. We take a look at developing stories coming from Singapore first with the ongoing family feud that still has made headlines all over Singapore.
That's right. So as you've been following the news probably, or in last week in ASEAN Challenge, we did present about the feud going on within the family of course, the Prime Minister Lee Hsien-loong and his brother and sister, in which has said that there has been a conflict in, we can say, interest in terms of politics and in terms of his father's wishes and wills, leading to the fact that maybe the brother and sister might even move out of Singapore altogether. Now, talking about the updates, of course, the Prime Minister himself says that he wants to clear up all of the problems within the family at the moment. She doesn't want to take things into court. They're within the family, and let's leave it that way.
Right. It's the first time that we saw the family feud and the bad blood between the siblings really come to light and be presented to the public eye in Singapore. And in the latest comments coming from Prime Minister Lee Hsien-loong, he said he's very disappointed that his siblings would take this out in the open and really publicize the problem that was triggered due to the late father's house and the different propositions and plans for this particular house. So what happened was that Lee Hsien-loong had made a rare move now. He removed the party whip for the debate, and now he allowed lawmakers from his ruling People's Action Party to now question their own cabinet regardless of the party line. So a lot of debate is going to be happening in the near future.
That's right. So the PAP, or the People's Action Party, controls 83 of the 89 elected seats in Parliament, and lawmakers had submitted their questions in writings at the end of the previous week, in which more than 30 lawmakers were also due to put questions over the course of last Monday and Tuesday as well. So of course this has created some, let's say, upsetting issues within the brother and sister. Of course, these are all the heir of the first Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, in which he's very well known for creating the Singapore that we know today, one of the world's, let's say, top economies of the world, and of course very prosperous nowadays. And so of course that was based on what Lee Kuan Yew has done as the first Prime Minister of Singapore. Now his heir, of course, his son Lee Hsien-loong, has become Prime Minister as well, and in which of course his powers are questionable, we can say that, according to his brothers and sisters.
Right. They are alleging that he might be abusing his power in the dispute of the family home at 38 Oxley Road, and they're fearing he would use government organs, what they call organs of the state, against them. So they are worried about their security and their safety altogether, which resulted in their debate of moving overseas and abroad. But altogether, this feud seems that it'll continue to carry on in the near future as well, with no end in sight now that the cat's out of the bag, you could say.
That's right. So the cat came out of the bag about mid-June, we can say that, and it occurred more or less on social media when his brother and sister, younger siblings Li Xiangyang and Li Weiling launched a series of attacks, according to social media, of course, on social media against his brother and various postings. So he was actually quite surprised that it came out into the open like that on social media as well.
Right. The next step, though, many would question is whether or not the leader of Singapore will take action and sue for defamation, for example, or for these allegations, to which he said he does not plan to sue his brother and sister for defamation over these allegations that he's abused power for the time being. However, we'll have to see what happens after the debate to see what new information comes out and what discoveries have been made so that that'll guide the next step.
That's right มาดูกันในข่าวแรกนะคะใน ASEAN Hot Issue ค่ะไปกันที่ประเทศสิงคโปร์ค่ะซึ่งถ้าติดตามข่าวหรือว่าในสัปดาห์ที่แล้วเราก็ได้รายงานข่าวกันแล้วเกี่ยวกับครอบครัวของทางสิงคโปร์นะคะของทางนายกรัฐมนตรีนั่นเองค่ะซึ่งก็ถือว่ามีประเด็นเกี่ยวกับความขัดแย้งระหว่างความคิดของพี่น้องนะคะในการใช้อำนาจของนายกรัฐมนตรีซึ่งทางพี่น้องของนายกรัฐมนตรีเนี่ยก็เห็นว่าไม่สมควรนะคะในขณะนี้นะคะทางนายกรัฐมนตรีของสิงคโปร์ได้กล่าวต่อสภาปฏิเสธทุกกล่าวหานะคะที่ได้รับมาจากทั้งพี่แล้วก็ขออภัยค่ะมีทั้งน้องสาวแล้วก็น้องชายที่เกี่ยวข้องกับการใช้อำนาจทางมิชอบค่ะพร้อมทั้งยืนยันว่าต้องการให้ความขัดแย้งภายในครอบครัวเรื่องบ้านของนายลีกวนยูนะคะบิดาของทั้งครอบครัวเนี่ยค่ะให้ยุติลงอย่างเร็วที่สุดค่ะ
ค่ะก็นับว่าความขัดแย้งคราวนี้นะคะน่าจะไปอีกเรื่อยๆนะคะยังไม่จบนะคะเพราะว่าในขณะนี้จะมีการพรีเซนต์ข้อมูลใหม่จากทางนักการเมืองแล้วก็นักกฎหมายของประเทศสิงคโปร์โดยเฉพาะจากพรรคการเมืองของลีเซียนลุงนั่นเองค่ะซึ่งในขณะนี้ลีเซียนลุงก็บอกว่ายังไม่คิดจะฟ้องร้องเรื่องหมิ่นประมาทของน้องสาวกับน้องชายพี่น้องกันเองนะคะซึ่งตอนนี้เราก็ต้องดูต่อไปว่าจะมีข้อมูลใหม่อะไรที่จะปรากฏตัวมากขึ้นหลังจากการดีเบตครั้งนี้
ใช่ค่ะมาดูกันต่อที่ข่าวต่อไปค่ะ moving on to the let's say US in terms of their involvement with warship sales nearing disputed islands within the South China Sea. Now of course we know that the South China Sea has had disputes for a very long time already with various countries surrounding the South China Sea claiming various territories in the area. Now a US warship sailed near a disputed island in the South China Sea claimed by China, Taiwan and Vietnam. This occurred on July the 2nd in an operation meant to challenge the competing claims of all three nations. Now this is not the first time of course, that the U.S. has done this.
No, the South China Sea dispute has been ongoing for many years now, with the U.S. standing in the middle, perhaps you could say taking certain sides of ASEAN countries involved here. So because the situation has been stalling for quite some time, it seems the U.S. has taken a step that may cause some kind of tipping point, according to China. They say this operation was quote-unquote a serious political and military provocation, according to a recent statement from China spoken by the ministry spokesperson Lu Kang. It said China had sent battleships and even fighter jets to ward off this ship called the USS Statham, which is a guided missile destroyer as well.
That's right. So China also says that what the U.S. did in the U.S. ship was an authorized and unauthorized entry, into China's territorial waters. Now, as mentioned, this is not the first time that the U.S. has done something like this. The last time they did something like this was on the 25th of May. So this is considered as actually the second time that a U.S. warship has sailed into the disputed waters of the South China Sea.
Right. We'll have to see what kind of scales the U.S. is going to be tipping this time, with the situation still quite sensitive between the different ASEAN countries and their claims over these territorial waters. We have so many countries involved, whether it's Taiwan, the Philippines, Vietnam, and many other countries. So with the U.S. backing particular countries, we'll have to see what happens.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาดูกันต่อในข่าวที่2ค่ะที่มีเรือพิพาทของทางสหรัฐนะคะก็ได้แล่นเข้าใกล้เกาะที่ถือว่าอยู่ในแถบทะเลจีนใต้นะคะที่ขณะนี้ก็มีประเด็นเกี่ยวข้องกับแหล่ง ที่พื้นที่ต่างๆนะคะก็มีเรือพิพาทของทางกองทัพเรือสหรัฐนะคะก็ได้เข้าไปใกล้กับเกาะพิพาทในเขตทะเลจีนใต้ซึ่งมีหลายชาติอ้างกรรมสิทธิ์อยู่ในขณะนี้นะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นทั้งจีนไต้หวันเวียดนามนะคะก็ถือว่าเป็นครั้งที่2แล้วไม่ใช่ครั้งแรกที่มีสถานการณ์แบบนี้ค่ะครั้งแรกก็เกิดขึ้นเมื่อวันที่25เดือนพฤษภาคมที่ผ่านมาค่ะ
ใช่ค่ะประเทศจีนก็ได้ตอบมานะคะว่าการกระทำของสหรัฐอเมริกาคราวนี้ก็เป็นการกระตุ้นเป็น provocation ที่ร้ายแรงนะคะในเชิงการเมืองแล้วก็การ defense เหมือนกันนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นเมืองจีนก็ได้ส่งเรือเป็นเรือรบเรือสงครามพร้อมกับเครื่องบินเจ็ตหลายเครื่องเพื่อที่จะไปตักเตือนเรือสเตทแฮมนั่นเองซึ่งก็ต้องดูต่อไปนะคะว่าจะมีการตอบยังไงบ้างจากประเทศอเมริกาแล้วก็เพราะเหตุใดถึงได้ส่งเรือออกไปในพื้นที่ที่มีความเซนซิทีฟมากๆค่ะ
All right, moving on to some other news updates now in terms of sports, in which those of you who are boxing fans of the Filipino boxer Manny Pacquiao may have been disappointed with the results that occurred on July 3rd, in which he himself, of course, was also disappointed about the results, in which the referee failed to call out his name, and he called out the winner as Australia's Jeff Horn during the welterweight bout in Brisbane.
Right, this is a similar kind of scenario that we've seen a couple years ago during the 2015 bash with U.S. boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr., in which Pacquiao was also defeated again during that time. So a very big disappointment for fans of Manny. Many people across the world are big fans of this 38-year-old boxer who's also a senator, a sitting senator in the Philippine Congress. So this time around, Manny, while he said he was quite disappointed, he still will continue his boxing to a certain extent.
That's right. He says he will concentrate on his duties as a politician, however, but remains open for a possible rematch with Horn and a possible retirement in the future as well.
Right. Seems that he's still active, still energetic, and still determined to carry on despite the recent disappointments.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาดูกันต่อที่ข่าวอย่างที่เราเห็นกันในภาพค่ะนี่ก็คือ The Pac-Man หรือว่า Manny Pacquiao นั่นเองนะคะสำหรับใครที่เป็นแฟนของปาเกียวก็อาจจะมีการผิดหวังสักเล็กน้อยนะคะหลังจากที่เกิดเลือดนองสังเวียนแตกถึง2แผลนะคะก็ได้เสียเข็มขัดแชมป์โลกรุ่น welterweight ขององค์กรมวยโลกหรือว่า WBO นะคะให้กับเจฟฮอนของออสเตรเลียนั่นเองค่ะเหตุการณ์นี้ก็เกิดขึ้นในอีเวนท์ที่จัดที่ซันคอร์ปสเตเดียมเมืองบริสเบนประเทศออสเตรเลียนั่นเองค่ะ
ค่ะคราวนี้ก็เป็นการผิดหวังที่คล้ายๆกับปี 2015 นะคะในช่วงที่การต่อสู้ระหว่างปาเกียวกับฟลอยด์ เมย์เวเธอร์นะคะเป็นนักต่อสู้จากอเมริกานั่นเองซึ่งช่วงนั้นนะคะก็จะมีการตัดสินใจของ referee ที่หลายคนอาจจะไม่เห็นด้วยซึ่งทำให้แมนนี่ปาเกียวของเราแพ้มันก็แต่ว่าในเวลาเดียวกันเขาก็บอกว่าเขาจะสู้ต่อไปนะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องการเมืองหรือว่าเรื่องมวยเช่นกัน
ใช่แล้วค่ะมานี่ปาเกียวก็รับหน้าที่เป็นถือว่าอยู่เล่นการเมืองด้วยนะคะเล่นมวยด้วยก็เขาบอกว่าเขาอยากจะโฟกัสด้านงานด้านการเมืองแต่ว่าถ้ามีโอกาสในอนาคตให้มาต่อสู้กับฮอนอีกรอบนึงก็จะเต็มที่เลยทีเดียวนะคะแล้วก็วางแผนที่จะ retire เรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะ
So we'll keep our eyes peeled for his next bout and his next moves, whether it's in politics or in the battle arena. Meanwhile, though, let's switch back and head back to Indonesia for some darker notes this time around. Updates concerning the situation of security in Indonesia. Another second stabbing of police officers has happened again in the past week now. 2 officers had been stabbed by suspected Islamic militants.
That's right. So the suspected militants stabbed 2 Indonesian police officers on Friday, June 30th, after prayers at a mosque near the National Police Headquarters in Jakarta, Indonesia, and in which, after the incident, of course, the 2 policemen were sent to hospital and they were injured. Of course, the attacker was shouting what was translated to "God is great" before he was shot dead by police as well.
Right. So far, what happened was they were all praying at a mosque near the National Police headquarters in Jakarta. That was where the situation unfolded, where the militants had stabbed police before, well, after yelling, God is great in Islam, but after that he was shot dead by police. So this is another addition to the string of attacks happening in Indonesia, the latest of which were twin suicide bombings at a bus station as well, just last month, that killed 3 police officers.
That's right. So it's a very concerning issue going on in Indonesia, and of course security has been stepped up and reinforced in order to maintain the peace and security within the country itself.
Right. So indeed, with the security stepped up, though, it seems it is still not enough to thwart and foil all of these attacks, which many consider to be lone wolf attacks as well. So Indonesia will definitely have to continue to step up security.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาดูกันในส่วนข่าวต่อไปนะคะมาที่ประเทศอินโดนีเซียค่ะซึ่งหน่วยคอมมานโดของอินโดนีเซียวิสามันผู้ต้องสงสัยฝักฝ่ายกลุ่ม IS ค่ะก็ได้ใช้ดาบปลายปืนนะคะเป็นอาวุธแทงตำรวจ2 นายก็ได้รับความบาดเจ็บนะคะบาดเจ็บที่ใบหน้าแล้วก็ลำคอค่ะหลังจากนั้นนะคะก็ทางผู้ต้องสงสัยเนี่ยค่ะก็โดนยิงนะคะเหตุเกิดที่มัสยิดแห่งหนึ่งกลางกรุงจาการ์ตานั่นเอง
ค่ะเป็นช่วงที่คนกำลังจะpray กันนะคะกำลังจะไหว้พระกันทุกคนแต่ว่าในขณะนี้ก็ทางตำรวจกำลังสอบสวนอยู่แต่ว่าอันนี้เป็นครั้งที่2แล้วนะคะที่เหตุการณ์แบบนี้เกิดขึ้นในอาทิตย์ที่ผ่านมานับว่าเป็นการเกิดบ่อยขึ้นนะคะเหตุการณ์แบบนี้ในประเทศอินโดนีเซียซึ่งเดือนที่แล้วนั่นเองก็มีการโยนระเบิดนะคะที่สถานีรถเมย์นั่นเองในเมืองจาการ์ตาซึ่งในเหตุการณ์นั้นก็ตำรวจ3 นายก็ได้เสียชีวิตไปค่ะก็นับว่าเป็นเหตุการณ์ที่น่าสลดนะคะสำหรับประเทศอินโดนีเซียซึ่งในขณะที่เจ้าหน้าที่เพิ่มกำลังกองทัพนะคะปกป้องดูแลความปลอดภัยของประชาชนแต่ว่าไม่พอค่ะเพราะฉะนั้นเราก็ต้องติดตามดูต่อไปค่ะ
That's right. But moving on to the Philippines and also within their disputes within their country as well, the Philippine military says that they will not be negotiating with the Islamists who have seized Marawi, and in which they have said on June 27th that they're still verifying whether or not a key militant leader has escaped the southern Philippine city of Marawi, and that they will not negotiate with the terrorists after reports came through that a rebel leader had proposed a prisoner swap.
Right, indeed. The rebel leader wanted to swap his mother and father in return for Father Teresito Chito Soganap, who's the Vicar General of Marawi City. So this is an important swap, but despite that, officials are not agreeing to the trade. But at the same time, it's quite curious because reports indicate that the leader of the militant leader here, the key person involved in the shootout and fighting and clashes, have actually escaped from Marawi City.
Wow. So we can see that this dispute or the war going on in Marawi has entered its, we can say, over a month already, a month and a half already. But it broke out into heavy clashes in the previous Tuesday or the previous week with intense bombing raids by planes on a shrinking rebel zone, and in which there's intense fighting between Islamic State-linked militants and the government troops since the rebels occupied parts of the city since May 23rd. And it's been an ongoing conflict as well, claiming almost 400 lives.
Not just that, also displacing so many people as well who have to seek shelter elsewhere. So the situation is becoming more and more dire as the time carries on. And with that said, various leaders and key people in this militant group, including the anointed emir in Southeast Asia, Islamic State's anointed emir, Isnilon Hapilon, also an important character, has disappeared from the battlefield, along with many other key figures as well, including Abdullah Maute, one of the 2 brothers forming the militant group carrying this name. So that said, we'll have to keep our eyes peeled to see how authorities are going to go about negotiating or not negotiating with this group.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาดูกันที่ฟิลิปปินส์กับประเด็นของเกาะมาราวีนั่นเองค่ะซึ่งก็ได้มีกบฏยึดเมืองนั่นเองนะคะทางรัฐบาลฟิลิปปินส์ก็ได้ประกาศว่าจะไม่มีการเจรจาต่อรองกับกลุ่มกบฏที่ยึดเมืองมาราวีนะคะหลังจากที่มีรายงานว่าหัวโจกกบฏต้องการที่จะแลกตัวประกันนะคะก็จะแลกนักบวชคาทอลิกท่านหนึ่งนะคะกับพ่อแม่ที่ถูกตำรวจจับกลุ่มนั่นเองค่ะ
ค่ะแต่ในขณะนี้ก็เจ้าหน้าที่บอกว่าจะไม่มีการแลกเปลี่ยนและไม่ตกลงกับผู้ก่อการร้ายนะคะซึ่งในขณะนี้ก็ได้มีข่าวว่า2คนในกลุ่มเมาเตะนั่นเองนะคะได้หนีไปที่อื่นแล้วเพราะฉะนั้นเจ้าหน้าที่ก็จะมีการไล่ตามจับกลุ่มต่อไปค่ะ
ค่ะประเด็นความขัดแย้งระหว่างมาลาวีนะคะก็เกิดขึ้นมาอย่างยาวนานแล้วตอนนี้ก็เกินเดือนหนึ่งเรียบร้อยแล้วก็ถือว่าต้องติดตามดูว่าจะเกิดขึ้นยังไงต่อไปนะคะ
ใช่ค่ะเพราะว่าหลายคนได้เจอความเดือดร้อนไม่ว่าจะเป็นคนที่เสียชีวิต400กว่าชีวิตนะคะแต่ว่าครอบครัวที่ได้ต้องหนีลี้ภัยไปจากบ้านตัวเองนะคะก็เป็นสถานการณ์ที่แย่มากค่ะSo we'll keep you posted on updates from that development. But that said, let's take a short break now. On that note, we come back with lighter and colorful holidays in our ASEAN calendar. Stay tuned.
พักกันสักครู่ค่ะ
Welcome back to the show. Into ASEAN calendar, lots of important dates to mark coming up in your ASEAN calendar.
ใช่แล้วค่ะกลับเข้าสู่รายการ ASEAN Challenge ค่ะในช่วงนี้มาดูกันว่ามีอีเวนต์อะไรสำคัญในอาเซียนกันบ้างค่ะ Penang is proud of its designation as a World Heritage Site to the point that the state has made July 7th, the day the designation was issued in 2008, Georgetown World Heritage Day. The day is designed to allow citizens and visitors to celebrate the culture, buildings, heritage, and history of the site. History of the holiday. On July 7th, 2008, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, designated World Heritage status to Georgetown in Penang. The award placed a spotlight on Georgetown's cultural heritage, colonial influences, and landscape. In recognition of the designation, the government of Penang declared July 7th as Georgetown World Heritage Day, making it a public holiday throughout the area. Traditions and celebrations. A community-centered festival is held every year in honor of the World Heritage Day. Each year, a theme is chosen for the festival and events are centered around the theme. For example, the 2016 theme was Mari Main, or Let's Play, with events centered around sports and games of the past. Many of the activities are centered around historical and cultural events that define today's daily life in Penang. The festival lasts several days and includes traditional food, arts and crafts, cultural festivities, and events that highlights both the history and the culture of Georgetown. Local communities play a key role in all celebrations, providing presenters, participants, performers, and folklorists who work to keep the history and culture alive. Visitors are given unlimited access to the living traditions not only of Georgetown, but surrounding communities as well. Some of the celebrations are dedicated to rare and endangered traditions in an effort to remind citizens and visitors of the importance of heritage. The 8th of July 2017, Asaraha Busha Day. The history of Asaraha Busha Day. This day, the first full moon of the 8th lunar month, commemorates the Buddha's first sermon in the Deer Park in Benares, India, and the founding of the Buddhist Sangha, or monkhood, about 2,500 years ago. In the sermon, which is known as Setting the Wheel of Dharma in Motion, the Buddha first spelled out the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. The day marks the beginning of Vasa, the Buddhist Lent period, also known as the Rains Retreat. How is Asaraha Busha Day celebrated? To mark the day, ceremonies are held in Buddhist temples across Thailand. Many Thai people return to their ancestral homes to donate offerings to temples and listen to sermons. In the evening, they will often perform a ceremony called Wian Tian, where they walk clockwise around the main shrine of the temple carrying a candle, incense sticks, and lotus flowers. During the day, monks chant mantras and preach the first sermon of the Buddha. In Saraburi, local monks parade through the town with their alms bowls. Instead of the usual offering of food, people will instead put flowers into their bowls. The monks then return to the temple and offer the flowers in honor of the Buddha. Asaraha Busha Day is traditionally a popular day for young Thai men to enter monkhood. Asaraha Busha is one of the 5 Buddhist holidays on which the sale of alcohol is prohibited. All government offices and main bank branches will be closed. The 9th of July, Khao Phansa Day. Khao Phansa marks the first day of the Buddhist Lent, a time when some observant Buddhists fast from such things as meat, alcohol, and tobacco. For the most part, only Theravada rather than Mahayana Buddhists observe Khao Phansa, and even many Theravada practitioners choose not to fast. Yet another name for Khao Phansa is the Rains Retreat, because it occurs right at the beginning of the Thai rainy season, and because Buddhist monks take this opportunity to retreat inside of their temples for a 3-month period of study and meditation. Of a rainy season retreat predates Buddhism, but it was followed by Buddha during his lifetime. This tradition of a rainy season retreat predates Buddhism, but it was followed by Buddha during his life, which encourages many to emulate him today. Asian ascetics originally began the practice to avoid crop damage, and Buddha added the reason of avoiding killing insects by accidentally stepping on them. There are many festivals held all over Thailand on Khao Phansa Day and during the Buddhist Lent. The tourist cannot hope to attend them all, but the tourists to Thailand on Khao Phansa Day will have many options as to which celebrations to attend. Candles are involved in practically all of them, but each town manages to do things in a unique way. There will be many memorable and photo-worthy moments. "11th of July 2017, World Population Day. World Population Day, which seeks to focus attention on the urgency and importance of population issues, was established by the then Governing Council of the United Nations Development Programme in 1989, an outgrowth of the interest generated by the Day of 5 Billion, which was observed on the 11th of July 1987. By Resolution 45/216 of December 1990, the United Nations General Assembly decided to continue observing World Population Day to enhance awareness of population issues, including their relations to the environment and development. The day was first marked on 11th of July 1990 in more than 90 countries. Since then, a number of UNFPA country offices and their organizations and institutions commemorate World Population Day in partnership with governments and civil society. Family planning, empowering people, developing nations. Around the world, some 225 million women who want to avoid pregnancy are not using safe and effective family planning methods, for reasons ranging from lack of access to information or services to lack of support from their partners or communities. Most of these women with an unmet demand for contraceptives live in 69 of the poorest countries on earth. Access to safe, voluntary family planning is a human right. It is also central to gender equality and women's empowerment and is a key factor in reducing poverty. Investments in making family planning available also yields economic and other gains that can propel development forward. In 2017, World Population Day, 11th of July, coincides with the Family Planning Summit, the second meeting of the FP 2020 Family Planning 2020 initiative, which aims to expand access to voluntary family planning to 120 million additional women by 2020.
And that was ASEAN calendar this break. Let's take another short break. When we come back, more colorful highlights coming up in ASEAN interview. Stay tuned.
พักกันสักครู่ค่ะ
Welcome back into ASEAN interview. We have an interesting recipe for a new trend of food in Cambodia. It's crunchy, salty, slightly sweet, and also 100% natural.
That's right. That is Cambodia's fried tarantulas, which come into season on the rainy season starting from previous June. So
Let's check it out.
a look.
Skuon district in Kampong Cham province, located about 70 kilometers north of the capital Phnom Penh, is the hub of this edible tarantula business. People pass through to buy the 2,000 real, about 50-cent, delicacies, and people who live there take to nearby fields and jungles to hunt these hairy arachnids and supplement their farming income. According to one of the many edible insect enthusiasts, Kumpiak, age 27, says tarantulas have a different taste compared to other insects like crickets. It just tastes a lot better, he says, than any other insect. The spiders are found in underground holes in the Cambodian countryside. During the dry season, the spiders stay deep in their holes and lay eggs. But during the monsoon season, between June and November, they come out because of the cooler temperatures and they're easier to catch. The morning hours are best for spider hunting, and villagers with long sticks and cloth bags poke around in the underbrush looking for these holes. Once they're caught, the hunters remove the fangs of the spiders so they don't get bitten while handling them. The fangs are sold separately as they're used in traditional medicine. Hunters like Kim Koi, age 22, can catch anywhere from between 30 to 140 spiders a day. He learned how to catch them from other villagers, as they go out in groups of around 20 people to find them, and they boast that he's never come home empty-handed. Insects have long been food for people in Cambodia's countryside, but during Khmer Rouge rule between 1975 and 79, a failed agricultural reform plan caused huge food shortages, adding to the deaths caused by torture and execution by the ultra-communists. During this time, crickets, silkworms, tarantulas, and other insects became vital sources of protein for the starving. Now, the villagers sell their sacks of live tarantulas to the roadside vendors. They fetch anywhere between 12 cents to 24 cents a piece, depending on the size. The vendors flavor them with salt, sugar, and add a hint of MSG. Also, soup powder as well for extra taste before frying them in hot oil. The more intrepid home cooks can also buy them alive and prepare them at home. A tarantula seller, Myun Neth, has sold tarantulas for 20 years. She says she sells between 10 to 100 a day, mostly to locals. Some come to her directly and ask her to fry them up as they wait. Others buy from her, and dozens of others hawk their snacks on metal trays.
And that wraps up the show for this week. We'll see you next week. As for now, สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ